Hey guys, Stephen Kewen here with Belt of Truth Ministries. I'm on the line with Rick Kardos. Rick is the executive director and co-founder with his wife Vikki of the Nathan Project. It's a ministry providing hope, leadership, training, and a place of recovery for men who struggle with compulsive use of pornography and sexual addiction. And before we begin, Rick, I just got to ask you, what's up with the name Nathan Project?
Well, years ago, Stephen, um, like kind of the Lord gave me the idea, or I just found it. But um, in the Bible, Nathan has an interaction with David three different times, and in each case, he's not invited to the party. Doesn't get a phone call. Doesn't get an invite from David saying, "I need your help." Particularly with Bathsheba, he walks up and at the end of the day, he says, David, that's you. This man that we talk about that stole, that did these horrible things. That's you. And David responds by repenting. Um, the same the other two times when David and Nathan interact. Um, my belief is that a man struggling with the use of pornography, with sexual addiction, he needs a Nathan in his life, someone that steps in and somewhat calls him out. It's rare that a man just says, "Oh, I have a problem, I need help." Usually he's being called out, he's being caught. Disclosure happens in a manner that's not of his choosing, and that's a Nathan that comes into your life. But the really good news, and why we call it the Nathan Project, is then the man gets healed. He first experienced sobriety, he gets healed, and he can become a Nathan in someone else's life, and it's a ripple effect of the project.
Yeah, very cool. I figured you had a good reason for picking that name, and I think that's a great reason. So that brings me to the question that I've been asking everyone. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to somebody struggling with pornography addiction?
Dialogue. Uh, the secrecy, kills both people, marriages, families. When it comes to the use of pornography, for example, and sexual addiction, so to begin a dialogue, whether it's with your brother in Christ, whether it's with a pastor, whether it's with a counselor, um, whether it's with just a friend, whether he's a believer or not, but open the door with dialogue, talking, conversation, and then look for the wise counsel that'll move you towards, in our case, for example, a four-men only group where men gather, they use a curriculum, they meet for 2 hours, they have strict accountability, not a justice-based, it's a grace-based group, but it's closed, it's confidential, you meet every week, but that all begins with a dialogue somewhere. We're wired for relationships. That's the way the Lord wired us. Um, most relationships begin with a dialogue between one person and another.
That's great. I think that's wonderful advice. Thank you for sharing that with us, Rick. Um, Tell people where they can find more about your ministry.
The easiest and the obvious way these days is nathanproject.net. You can find us on the internet. You can talk about it. Because I work with men in a confidential setting, um, I also share that the office number, which is here in New Hampshire, which is 603-232-8236, you're more than welcome to call here to talk to me, to get some wise counsel. Then there's on the internet, there are about 40 uh, 40 four-men only groups dealing with this particular issue. And with each one, there is a contact, a man who leads the group, and they're peer-led, so it's somebody that would understand what you're talking about, and a phone number and an internet address so that you can talk to them as well.
Great. Well, thanks again. Appreciate your time and enjoy all the snow you guys have out there in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I'm sure you're jealous because I don't guess you don't have very much. We have
No,
coming this weekend, so another foot of snow they're projecting on top of 3 feet we already have. So we're more than welcome to put some in a truck and send it out.
we might have to figure that out. Well, thanks again, Rick. I'll talk to you
Stephen,
soon.
sure, Stephen, can I ask or mention one other thing about the ministry, and I'll be brief.
Yeah,
There's a flip side here that doesn't get a lot of publicity, that we don't address in the church very often, and that is the betrayed heart. There is a wife of all the men, the pastors, the young men very often who are struggling with this issue. There are parents of the youth that are struggling. That betrayed heart, that woman who has to deal with this problem, not of her own doing, is huge. And there is another part of the ministry called For Women Only, betrayed heart, for those wives. To be contacted about that, to call, to speak with my wife Vikki, to be willing to build a group that helps wives would be huge. It's just not happening. And the most damaged woman in your church could be your pastor's wife. If half our pastors, as the statistics talk about, are using pornography, then the most damaged, the most hurt woman in your church is his wife.
That's a good point. So, thanks for sharing that, and keep in touch.
Love to be with you. Thank you.
All right, see you, Rick.